Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Michelle's Garden. We're going to go out and pick some peanuts today. I'm putting my shoes and socks on. It's about 11 o'clock in the mid-morning, I guess you could call it. I slept in today because I worked 2 of my days off this week so far. I feel like I've been run over by a herd of buffalo. My whole body hurts. My job is very physical. I do a lot of heavy lifting. I work for a food distribution center called MDI. They deliver a lot of groceries to grocery stores all up and down the East Coast. I'm not sure how far west they go, but during 2020, when a lot of people lost their jobs or had to go work from home, the company I worked for was a booming business, supplying all the grocery stores when they were running out of food. So today we're gonna pick some peanuts. I'm thinking that I put these peanuts in the ground somewhere around May. I don't remember exactly, but I think it was somewhere around May. So I think it's time for them to come out of the ground. Plus our weather is cooling down. It was 44 degrees when I got up this morning. It's like 60 something in the house this morning. Feels really good. I got up, fixed a pot of coffee, opened the front door, put on a sweatshirt and wrapped up in a blanket and sat here in the recliner. It's so nice. I got these peanuts from Haas Tools. I get a lot of my seeds from Haas Tools. They have really great selection. This was a huge bag. I probably didn't really need this many peanuts. It's a bag of 1 pound bag. And where I planted my peanuts in the garden, the raised bed was only like a 2 foot by 2 foot square bed. So I might have used like maybe, I don't know, 25 peanuts. So I might try to plant a whole row next year. This is my first time planting them, and I just wanted to see how they turned out. So how about we go outside? I want to show you guys a view from my recliner in the living room. This is what I look at in the mornings when I'm sitting here drinking my coffee and doing a little bit of reading. Such a beautiful view. We have mountains on the both sides of our house. I can sit at the kitchen table, look at mountains out the back, and I can sit in the living room, look at mountains out front here. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, just absolutely beautiful. My roses are blooming pretty good right now. And that is just the most gorgeous view. That mountain over there, I think it's called Barrett Mountain. When we had fall leaves last year, it was so gorgeous. Oops, sorry guys. My hand hit the camera. Okay, so let's head outside. I've got some plants out here that I had started by seed. My brassicas, my broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, beets, onions. I've got all of that outside in trays, and I'll show you how that's looking. So we're going to head outside right here in a second. Okay, I'm going to go down here and pour me a cup of coffee, and then we're going to head outside and check out these plants, and then head up to the garden and pick those peanuts, dig them out of the ground, and then I might bring them in and put them in the slow cooker and boil them. I've been looking up recipes on boiling peanuts. I want to show you some stuff I worked on during the week. I worked on this right here. This is turkey broth. I wanted to try to make my own chicken broth and beef broth, and I happen to have a whole turkey, and so I made turkey broth. I got 4 quart jars, and I got 2 pint jars. The other is my salsa and my sweet potatoes. All that stuff's got to go downstairs. And here's my peanut basket. I'm gonna take that and head outside. Okay, I'm trying to get out the back door without dropping everything. Dropping my coffee, dropping my peanut basket. I got my plants sitting right over here on the table. Set my coffee down so I can show you guys this stuff here. Okay, I think this right here, let's turn this tray around. I think that is my cabbage. Or is it? No, that's broccoli. This is Godzilla broccoli and some purple broccoli. These are my onions. These have been in here for a good long time. Let's see what the date is on these. Yeah, since July. And I've got a sweet onion here. It's called candy sweet onion. And this other one is Vidalia onion. The Vidalia onion, I bought a pack from Ace Hardware and they didn't germinate very well. Right here is the beets. I've heard people say that they don't plant beets in a tray like this because the roots don't like to be disturbed, and I've heard some people say that they do. And I did. This is all the cabbage and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts on the end. Everything's looking good. There's the last of the tomatoes out of the garden. So I need to put all those plants in the ground, and I'll tell you the reason why I'm not yet. I'm going to wait one more week, and that's because we're going to be getting some heavy rains and probably winds from a hurricane that is hitting Florida right now, Hurricane Ian. And I don't want to put my plants in the ground and they're going to get flooded and broken by the wind. You know, I don't know how strong it's going to be or how much of it we're going to have. So I've just decided to wait another week. Whew, it's so nice out here. A little bit of a breeze blowing. I got a little bit of a chill. I've got most of the garden cleaned out. I can see some birds in my garden. Oh my goodness. There's like a ton of birds in the garden. I've never seen that many birds in the garden before. I guess they're picking all the... I didn't wonder why there's no worms in the garden. That's probably why. They're eating them all. Okay. Put my coffee down so I can open the gate. So I still have okra growing, still have some peppers going, but everything else is mostly cleaned out. And I'm going to show you some things that I planted. I still have some tomatoes going. Right here's my okra plants. Got some down there on the end and right there. Set this basket down. Okay. Now, this is my row where I normally have tomatoes, but I planted some English peas and they're coming up. And I've never planted those before, so I have no idea how they're going to do. There's one of my marigolds. That thing is like a giant marigold that's still going. Still have some basil going. It's turning to seed. There's some basil down there and one tomato plant I need to get out. I want to show you how the seeds that have fallen on the ground that are just regrowing, like that's all green beans, you know, and they're not going to last. The cold weather is going to kill those. There's some sweet potato vines that are still growing where I guess I didn't get it all out of the ground. I'll have to work on that. I'm going to show you this asparagus over here. Now, I've never grown asparagus before, and I think this is so cool. I don't know how this overwinters, how it does, but we're going to find out. It looks like it might be turning to seed. And there's a couple of strawberry plants in here. Now, this bed was strawberry plants, and it seemed like they all died, so I threw some seeds of asparagus in here, and now there's a mixture. And I'm going to have to separate that. So let's walk down here and check out the peanuts, guys. I've got my tomato plants over here that they're being eaten by the worms, and they're going to have to come out. I've pulled a few of the green tomatoes off of there and let them ripen on the table down there. All right, here's this bed of peanuts. So let's pull these out and see what we can get. Now, I have pulled some of these, like I said earlier. I do believe I told you earlier. Just because I wanted to see what they look like. And I got quite a bit, you know, just off of one plant. So check that out. Isn't that awesome? I'm going to set you guys up so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so look at all the peanuts that you get off of, I do believe this is just one plant. So I pulled some of these a while back, probably got like 2 piles of them. And I've heard some people say, you know, pull them off, sit them out in the sun, let them dry out to cure. And then I also watched a video where somebody just pulled the plant out like this and they hung it up to let it dry. So I'm not going to let them sit and cure at all. When I pick all these off of here, I'm going to wash them, and then I'm just going to put them in a slow cooker and make some boiled peanuts, because that was the whole reason why I wanted to grow them to begin with, was for some boiled peanuts and just for knowing how peanuts grow. And I think it's pretty neat. I like to try to grow things in my zone that can be grown and see how they grow. You know, I bought a banana tree and I planted it, but in our zone we're not able to get bananas off the tree. Probably if I put it in the greenhouse, whenever the greenhouse gets done, I might be able to produce some bananas. So I'm going to finish picking these off the plants, guys, and wash them, and then I'm going to go in and stick them in the slow cooker, and I will show you guys that process, and we'll make boiled peanuts together. So here's what I got, guys, for that small little area. And that's quite a bit of peanuts. That's enough for my slow cooker. I still have to clean them and take them in, but here's the area that I grew those in. I mean, that's not big at all. We got that many peanuts. So imagine how many peanuts I would have gotten if I had grown a row of them. I tried to dig back through the dirt, make sure I didn't miss any, and check it out. I missed one. So let's take these in the house and clean them up. Okay, guys, we're back in the house and putting these boiled peanuts, or peanuts, or not boiled peanuts yet, in the slow cooker. And I'm going to show you, I've washed them off really well. And I want to show you what all I've added to them in this really cool slow cooker. Wait till you see this slow cooker. Like that Dallas Cowboy slow cooker. Heck yeah. So I added some chicken broth, which I've not seen a recipe where you put chicken broth in them. I just wanted to see if it would add any flavor to them. I've got them in here, and you could put any kind of seasoning you want on these. You could do Cajun seasoning, which is what a lot of people do, Cajun seasoning, or just salt. I'm just throwing stuff in here to see what I can come up with. This is some bone-sucking sauce, which is a rub for meat, but I threw some of that in there. I put some seasoned salt in there. And then, of course, I done just some regular salt. And I did my chicken broth, and now I'm just going to try to get these covered up with some bottled water. See, I'm starting to float there. Okay, and then I'm going to put the lid on these. I've got it set on high, and it says to cook them for 3 hours. So that's what I'm going to be doing with these. They're going to be cooking for 3 hours. And I've got some errands to run. It's somewhere around, let's see what time it is, 12:19. So maybe somewhere around 4 o'clock. Because it's going to take, a little bit of time for this to get up to a boil. And then I'll open it up and check for tenderness. And that's basically all you're doing when you're making boiled peanuts. You boil them for so many hours, and then you, take it out, check it for tenderness and whether or not it's got enough salt for you or enough seasoning for you. And so that's what I'm doing for the day. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video for today, and hope everybody has a great day. And I'll see you next time at Michelle's Garden.